Every warrior walks a different path. Samurai, the path of discipline. Ronin, the path of independence. Ninja, the path of strategy. Zen monk, the path of wisdom. Shogun, the path of power.
But today, we explore the path of 100 days of silent discipline. You proclaim grand ambitions of self-transformation, setting massive goals with explosive enthusiasm. Yet within 48 hours, your momentum evaporates at the first sign of friction, leaving your promises scattered in the dust. You operate in a state of pathetic cyclical weakness, constantly starting, constantly quitting, and surrendering your identity to the softest path of least resistance. Here is the diagnosis you refuse to face. You are the emotional drifter. You run from difficult choices, uncomfortable conversations, and sustained physical effort into the arms of cheap, instant gratification. You swallow junk food to numb stress, indulge in endless digital distractions to escape reality, and seek comfort the second your mind feels challenged. You believe that discipline is a feeling that magically arrives when conditions are perfect. In truth, your addiction to comfort is the exact reason you remain stagnant, fragile, and utterly powerless. In the covert warfare systems of feudal Japan, reactivity and emotional drift were fatal flaws. The Shinobi clans of Iga and Koga operated in an ecosystem of absolute peril, surrounded by hostile samurai armies, impenetrable castles, and ruthless counterintelligence networks. Historical manuals like the Bansanukai document that Shinobi operatives were not born as shadow phantoms. They were forged through structured, unyielding protocols designed to dismantle human weakness. To build an operative who could endure cold, hunger, and isolation without breaking, master trainers implemented severe 100-day evolutionary ladders. These 5 sequential protocols transformed fragile recruits into sovereign operators of silent execution. Concept 1. Mokugyo, the protocol of absolute silence. For the first 20 days, the initiate was forbidden from speaking a single unneeded word, cutting off all social validation and verbal complaints. Picture a young recruit sitting in a frozen, mist-shrouded mountain cabin in Iga, the biting wind howling through timber cracks. His muscles ache from hours of low-stance drills. His throat is dry, his stomach burning with hunger. He opens his mouth to vent his misery, but the strict mandate of Mokugyo slams his jaw shut. He is forced to swallow his own complaints, directing that scattered vocal energy back into his physical posture. This silent containment cures the initial decay of the emotional drifter. You bleed your vital energy every time you complain about your hardships, broadcast your goals, or seek sympathy for your discomfort. When you kill the outlet of verbal venting, you force your mind to digest friction instead of whining about it. Cage the complaint. Concept 2. Sokan Ho, the protocol of unbroken observation. Built directly upon the foundation of silence, days 21 through 40 force the initiate to observe external reality without emotional bias. Historical accounts record that recruits were stationed in dark rafters or rain-drenched tree canopies for half a day at a time, tasked with tracking every detail of their environment while keeping their own pulse perfectly steady. Rain drips off the recruit's nose. Insects crawl across his skin. Biting cold numbs his fingers. An untrained mind reacts with irritation and flinching. But the shinobi executes sokanho. He registers the discomfort as pure, neutral data, refusing to assign emotional drama to physical sensations. This objective observation dismantles the emotional drifter's mental chaos. You fail because you turn every minor discomfort into an existential crisis, reacting passionately to every urge and inconvenience. When you learn to observe your internal turbulence without acting on it, you strip pain of its power over your behavior. Observe the tension. Concept 3. Katsue Jutsu, the protocol of friction exposure. Having mastered silence and observation, days 41 through 60 plunged the operative into direct, daily physical hardship. Initiates were subjected to freezing mountain waterfall immersions, long-distance night marches through untracked wilderness, and grueling balance drills on narrow wooden beams high above rocky ravines. The scent of damp pine, freezing spray, and raw sweat filled the air as their bodies screamed for relief. They learned that pain is not a signal to stop, but a threshold signaling the birth of true endurance. This deliberate friction exposure shatters the emotional drifter's reliance on instant gratification. You run to soft escapes because you have zero tolerance for physical or mental exertion. By voluntarily stepping into cold, hard, unyielding physical tasks every single day, you build a mental shield that luxury can never penetrate. Seek the friction. Pause right here and look at your pathetic reality. You are halfway through this breakdown, and already your mind is squirming with impatience. You want to click away, check a notification, or return to a cheap distraction, because this confrontation is exposing your total lack of grit. This exact moment, this weak, pathetic urge to run away when faced with uncomfortable truth, is why you are losing in life. You cannot even focus for 5 minutes on a lesson about discipline without your addiction to cheap dopamine demanding a hit. If you cannot master your own attention for 10 minutes, you will remain a slave for the rest of your life. Kill the drift. Concept 4. Fudoshin Gyo, the protocol of the immovable core. Days 61 through 80 tested the recruit's mental stability under sudden, unexpected chaos. Instructors would launch surprise nighttime attacks, trigger loud alarms, or ignite sudden blazes while the initiate sat in deep meditation. While an average person panics, gasps, or leaps up in blind fear, the shinobi's Fudoshin Gyo training anchored his mind into his lower abdomen. He remained completely unmovable, responding only with calculated, lethal efficiency when action was strictly required. This immovable core cures the emotional drifter's volatility under pressure. You crumble the instant a plan fails, a crisis arises, or someone criticizes your work. When you anchor your breath and refuse to let external chaos shake your internal center, you become an unshakable force inside any storm. Stand unmovable. Concept 5. Zanshin Kikan, the protocol of perpetual completion. The final 20 days, from day 81 to 100, required the initiate to execute every single movement, chore, and strike with total unbroken vigilance from start to finish. Whether cleaning a simple wooden bowl, sheathing a blade, or walking through a crowded market, the operative maintained absolute focus until the action was fully concluded. They knew that the moment of completion is when a warrior is most vulnerable to carelessness and defeat. This discipline of perpetual completion destroys the emotional drifter's habit of quitting at 90%. You start dozens of projects, workout plans, and habits, but you leave them abandoned the second the novelty wears off. Zanshin Kikan demands that you treat the finish line with even greater intensity than the starting line, locking down every detail until the task is dead. Finish the strike. The Shinobi 100-day protocols were not a romantic legend. They were a cold, mechanical, evolutionary ladder designed to strip away human weakness. You do not need more motivation, more books, or better circumstances. You need 100 days of silent, unyielding execution. Stop negotiating with your laziness. Step onto the ladder and forge a spirit that nothing in this world can break. Execute the code.
Every warrior walks a different path. Samurai, the path of discipline. Ronin, the path of independence. Ninja, the path of strategy. Zen monk, the path of wisdom. Shogun, the path of power. Which one are you? Comment below.